Oh, my Titans family. Oh god, you're gonna be okay.
I'm sorry.
God knows how you feel. Titans save the day. Oh god, yeah, keep that on. Oh gosh. Why are we seeing someone go for a dolly? I'm stressed. Oh my goodness. Come on, move sideways. Away. Oh my god. Oh my god, Donna, sweetheart. Oh my god. What the hell? The battle was over. You know they said a Titan will fall, but the battle was over. Cut to her in hospital, right?
We do not enter the field of battle lightly, neither in heart, nor body, nor mind. Nor do we exit it.
I spent a lot of the season annoyed at her as well, but I loved her a lot. I don't want anyone of this family to die. And I wanted her and Dick to get to have time together. They were just siblings again and weren't fighting. And Donna just deserved to get to live and to move on from the shadow of what happened to come. This is a superhero, supernaturally type show. We can fix this at some point, okay?
And sometimes the cost of defending the innocent exceeds what we could ever think to pay.
It wasn't your fault, sweetheart. None of it was you. Rachel can have been through it. She understands a bit from trying on, but oh, baby, please. You're gonna be okay. We're gonna get you back to you. Even if it's a different version, you're gonna survive this. Just glad he's home.
There's only one word for this. Sacrifice.
He's going back to Thanksgiving.
Whether it be time or never at all. This is the hero's duty.
Why did they have to end it like this? They could have just had a really positive team back together and everything gonna be better, and now
They have a place for warriors like Donna. Sacred grounds.
I think I've actually been inside your head. Like I can take
The
your
ring was in my head. That's pretty messed up.
chance.
If you want to go, I'm not going to stop you.
please go and find. I mean,
It doesn't matter how strong we are. We can't always change the world.
what we're going to do this time, okay? Go,
We can try.
save Donna and bring her back, okay?
We should try.
You should. Okay, I have hope now and I'm gonna cling on to it. I don't care how foolish it is.
Go with Donna. Your room will be waiting for you when you get back.
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe I'll stay on the island.
Watch out. Space witch skin isn't made for the tropical sun.
Yeah, I'll survive.
I like that they told Dick about that space witch
Yeah.
thing. He was like his sister.
I'll miss you.
I just really want season 3 to be about all of the team with a revived Donna. Just
And the others.
be family.
Be careful.
Yes, please. I wouldn't mind seeing them as Kira next season. There's our Titans. Rose with Jericho. I wonder if it's going to stay like that as a dynamic, or if we're going to get Jericho a body somehow. Oh, Jason. Let's come back to them as well. Or as you know, he just came to see Donna off. So that's a thing for next season, trying to reach out to him and help him. Which Dick will do. Jason came to pay his respects to Donna. I mean, it's kind of a depressing end to the season, I can't lie. I get been feeling uplifted. I was so happy and positive at the beginning of the season in this place. Bruce. And not an imaginary one this time.
Terribly sorry. I know how much Donna meant to you.
I'm the reason she came back. I pulled her back into the Titans.
She made her choice, okay?
Fool yourself into thinking you could have made Donna Troy do something she
Exactly.
didn't want to do herself.
sweetie.
What's left of us without her?
Things inevitably fall apart.
Her memory, her love.
The art of life seems to be in how you put them back together.
You fight for her in the way she would have wanted, and you stick together.
Sounds suspiciously like advice. Don't feel the need to battle the past anymore.
No. Beautiful character
You know why
growth.
you did. Family.
Perhaps. If you're right, you're welcome. This, fight the impulse to turn inward, to turn away from others.
Yeah,
Your team is in grief and needs healing. It's a process best not done alone.
exactly. Please listen to Bruce on this. He's learned the hard
You've been
way.
sitting on that one too.
Oh, just
Pretty good.
keep working on it.
He's so proud. I love you.
Hey,
He's reaching out.
what you saw was who she was.
Yeah.
She cared for people.
I'm so thankful to the show for giving us these quiet moments of grief. They're just characters.
People.
Wasn't you?
Really, then whose fault was it?
Cadmus.
I left you here alone. I never should have done that.
Dick, there's some responsibility, but Mercy and Cadmus, they're the most.
We're making dinner. If you feel up to it, I could use your help.
He just wants to bring his little family together.
When you're ready.
They're all so lovely. God. It wasn't your fault, okay? Just listen to him. Grieve, because it's horrible and sad that Donna is dead, but do not blame yourself. Most shows, on a finale especially, pack in all the action, and then it ends, and I'm so glad we're getting these moments of quiet character development. Like, these two need to deal with whatever they're doing, or at least begin to.
She died saving my life.
And a lot of other people. Just being who she was.
I don't think so.
Not now,
Think
at
you can
least.
What about Hawk and Dove?
Titans. Everyone's welcome.
I just wanted to.
Oh, they've all got
thank
those
you
weird sodas.
for bringing us all to that diner.
It wasn't him.
Thanks.
I told you something was weird about that.
How you did it.
I'm not quite sure what you...
I told you something was weird about that.
Elko.
It was more than just him being Batman.
Perhaps you confused me with someone
I told you there was else. Oh, yes! I was right, that was too weird.
You want to take it up with Batman?
Rachel was my top suspect.
Go away and hers is even weirder.
But,
What the fuck is going on?
yeah,
I don't know.
me too, I want to know.
Troy and I were a couple of strays. She saw us as family. We've all spent our lives recovering from the damage done by our families. You throw enough strays together, you get the best kind of family.
Yep.
One bound not by DNA,
By choice.
but by a collective sense of duty and devotion to another. And when you lose someone you love, you need this. What we have right here. What's next for us all? I don't know. To Donna, Troy, thanks for giving me a second chance at family.
That was such a
Thanks to you
beautiful.
guys for taking me back in. To the Titans.
I'm so proud of you, Dick.
Titans.
Donna
Titans.
Troy.
Donna.
Ugh, that's what she's been drinking this whole time?
What?
Guys, the disturbance in the Mission District.
Titan's gonna go out. Moment of truth. Aren't you coming?
What are you waiting for?
Yes. This little family has found each other again and they're gonna stay together. And Rachel's totally gonna revive Donna and all's gonna be fine. I don't even know. Oh, babies. We're gonna get Jason back. Rachel's gonna return with Donna. He's got his family.
There's your answer.
That's what's gonna happen. He's gonna look. Yeah, that's why I wanted him to look happy at the end of the season. And yes. Yes. This is what I wanted. I want a whole season. This next season, let them just be my lovely ones. I love it a lot. There's the taker. Crypto. Wouldn't be Titans if we didn't get a bit crypto. What is happening? What's she looking at? Oh no, Corey's sister. Blackfire's here. I knew this was going to be next season. I didn't think we'd get a little bit at the end. Hi. Well, you know, I was thinking, how's Corey going to get to her? But she's come to Corey. Okay, so unless I'm mistaken, there wasn't an end credit scene this time. Where to even begin? Taking like a moment to try and compose my thoughts, and nothing has come. I'm gonna start with the fact that found families are one of my favourite tropes in television, in books, in media, pop culture, and Titans is a really beautiful one. And so this season, the fact that that found family was fracturing and falling apart was quite hard to watch. But I'm just really glad that they all found each other and that they fought together and that they were able to put all of their problems and differences aside and just be there for each other and just fight. And that at the end, just they were there and they were fighting, and you know, they all chose to stay, and Dick gave his beautiful speech, and it just makes me really emotional. I reckon there are people out there, like I think I said in the reaction, who will not be happy with how quickly Deathstroke was dealt with, that he was built up all the season and then he was like done. But I love that because we had him dealt with more or less quickly. The Gar and Connor thing could have gone a bit longer, but it was dealt with quickly. So we got that beautiful end section of the episode where those characters that we have followed all this time got to have their emotional consequences. We got to grieve Donna. We got to have the farewell. We got to have Bruce and Dick having that beautiful conversation. We got to have Dick going to see Gar, being there for him. We got to see, you know, where Hank and Dawn are at now, what their next step is going to be. They kind of came to peace with each other. And yeah, okay, she says like, you know, maybe Hank and Dawn are over. I don't think that's necessarily forever, but if it is, that's fine. But kind of we've seen them stepping. We got that beautiful family dinner at the end. Like that is something that I think is really important. A lot of shows, finales, they spend so much time ramming it full of the action and the drama that you're often like, well, a character died, that character was injured, that character was brainwashed, and I've had no emotional consequences of this. I haven't got to have the catharsis or to get through it and to feel that there's a hope and there's a purpose, and you know, kind of a lot of shows miss out on that. And then by the time the next season starts, they do a time jump and so everyone has grieved and dealt with it, and you're like, well, I wanted to be there. So I really appreciated that actually with Titans, and I think Deathstroke was dealt with in a very compelling, in a way that made sense with what we'd seen. You know, we knew Deathstroke was going after the Titans when they got together. He would have known, oh, they're coming from the tower to this, I imagine, this servants, so he would have been able to track their route and been able to stop them. Dick knew the same thing. He would have been able to track them too. He was coming after Deathstroke, and the fact that they had their final fight where Dick was just confident in who he was. Deathstroke was still superiorly enhanced. He was still, you know, the better fighter, but Dick was much more confident in who he was, which I think is something we haven't seen from him in a while. And then Rose was able to be there and to declare the Titans are my family, and then she was able to be there for Jericho. Like when she stabbed him, I was thinking, oh, is she gonna like just jump into Rose? Like, oh, what's gonna happen? But I love that she let him in. And I'm very intrigued by that. Is that just going to be the dynamic going forward? We're going to have Rose, we're going to have Jericho, and she can let him have control sometimes, kind of like Frost and Caitlin in The Flash, or, you know, very other examples of that. Or is that going to be a temporary solution and ultimately we're going to find a way to give him his own body back? I'm very intrigued about that, and I think that'll be like, she's not Deathstroke. She's going to give him a chance to express himself, to be free. She's not going to force him to watch her committing atrocities and hurting people. I love that. I love the Dick and Jericho conversation. I love the way that he was able to say, you know, I get why you did what you did. I understand. I know what you Titans stand for, and that's the most important thing. Literally, that conversation was everything. And they, I mean, she acted it brilliantly. It was just beautiful, and I love that a lot. Corey, obviously has admitted to, actually, I'm going to try and go through character by character to an extent. So Corey, she has just owned up to the group. You know, she's accepted to herself that she has lost her powers. They have gone from just flickering to she has not got them. Now, I was wondering all the time, is that something to do with her sister? I'm going to assume that given that Blackfire is here, it is. That Blackfire isn't content to just strand Corey on Earth, hoping she'll never find a way to get home, that she's coming after her somehow. And given that she's, I don't know the nature of Tamaran powers, but if it is somehow tied into her planet and being there, it could simply be a case of she's been away from home for too long. It could be a case of her sister is able to like block her from the powers somehow, if there's some sort of like, there are lots of different mechanics you can have to how people have their supernatural powers. So I am very much intrigued about what that is for Corey, and I'm glad that she was able to own up to it. And we saw this episode, you know, she was like, I'll distract him, put her arm up, because normally that wouldn't faze her. Good shot. And then when she went up to punch Connor, she doesn't have the same level of strength and ability she had. So I think it was important that she was she admitted to that, and she's kind of starting to see it now. I think that is something she's also going to deal with a lot more next season, when there's more time to it. We're at the beginning of the season, the beginning of the big bad. I mean, Blackfire will be running around doing stuff, but she's come to terms with that, and I think the group being a little united group again will be really helpful for her with that. And I hope, you know, that she and Dick can maybe rekindle the flame. I really liked them together in season 1. I think they have a lot of potential. I mean, if they stay friends, that's totally fine, but I think as a couple they have a lot of potential, and they have a really good dynamic, and the actors have a lot of chemistry, so I'm really here for them. And now that things have hopefully calmed down a bit with the coming and going, I'm really hoping that they're going to get to stick together. So Corey, Rachel, she admitted as well that her powers, sometimes she can't control them, as we saw with Rose, we saw with that. I guess she's kind of aware it was likely her powers that killed that guy's, that abusive guy, that she's aware that she can't fully always contain her powers. Now, she managed it this time, she really did, but I think it was good that she kind of owned up to that, and that she was just acting like she was one of the equals. You know, she wasn't letting Donna and Dawn treat her like a kid. Now, I've agreed with them treating her like a kid to a lot of the time. Like, I don't think they've been that unreasonable with that, but I liked that she kind of was being more confident within herself, that, you know, I can help, but, you know, that might be an issue. And that she was so confident in getting through to Gar and being like, you got through to me, you're still in there. And I think if it had been anyone else, I would have been like, that's far too easy. But with Rachel's powers, with the fact that we know she can do things like this, she's still figuring out her powers, and they are still changing, as she said. I believe fully her getting through to Gar. And I mean, I don't know how, okay, and then I will get to Gar, sorry, I didn't talk about that, but I'm getting like too ahead of myself here. And then her decision to want to go with Donna, oh my goodness, just, at first I thought she was doing kind of like, I want her to be with family, and like, I know she was with the other women from Themyscira, but just, she thinks she can maybe save Donna and bring her back. I mean, if Rachel can bring people back from the dead, that is very impressive, and I would never have to fear for anyone but Rachel dying on the show ever again. I don't know that she's going to be successful in that necessarily. I think maybe that would be too... people would complain too much. I mean, my favourite kind of character deaths are ones that are reversed quite quickly. So you go through this sobbing, and then you're like, oh, they're alive! And you can cry all over again because they're alive, rather than the ones where they stay dead. But to get me through, so that I'm not sitting here sobbing, I am focusing on the fact that Rachel is going to find a way to save Donna, I hope. And I would love it if we get to see some of Themyscira next season, but I could also see it being a case of she just turns back up at some point at the beginning of the season, saying, oh, I was unsuccessful, or with Donna in tow, and there's some sort of complication, or, you know, the show could really do whatever it wants with that, but I'm very excited, and I like that she had that moment with Dick, where their bond is still so important. Please, if you ship them, just don't stop. Think of the age difference, and their roles that they have, the dynamics. But I really, really enjoyed that scene, and Rachel is getting confident again. I mean, she still doesn't understand her powers fully, and I think this season there wasn't as much time to spend on her development as maybe there had been in the previous season, but I think over the course of the season we have seen her go from being terrified of the fact that she can't control her powers to kind of being like, well, I'm basically in control, but sometimes it goes a bit far, and, you know, they're developing, but she's looking at her powers and saying, well, my powers are developing and changing, but I can use them, I can do things with them, and I think that's so important. And, oh, so then, Hank turning up, helping. I mean, of course, we knew he was going to do that last season. I guess he's going to need to, like, go through withdrawal or something, but we'll get to that. I assume we can just accept that that will happen off screen in between the seasons, but I think it was important for him that he realised that he was also falling down that hole and that spiral, and like they all were blaming it all on Dick when it was their own guilt they were dealing with as well, but he's kind of accepted that, but also accepted that they've all done a lot of good, and I enjoy that he came back and he was fighting and they were having their banter again, and I love the like, oh, there's a whole lot of ugly out here, and like, I thought you were going to make fun of my suit, I just did. Like, but they were back to their old bantery ways, and they were just back to their old, like, teasing and joking and just their family ways, and that was really lovely to see. And I think he was good. I appreciated how he approached Donna, that, you know, he kind of apologised, and because he was a jerk, that he apologised, said what that he'd come to that realisation that maybe there was some good, and that he, you know, very tentatively said, you know, do you think maybe we could do it again? And that when she said no, he didn't push that. He didn't say, oh, but I love you and we should be together. He just accepted that she'd said no. And then he, you know, obviously said, well, can Hawk and Dove still be a thing? And that was always separate to their relationship. I think I've seen some people be confused about the timelines of the relationship. So what happened, I think, is after they killed the guy who abused Hank and Dawn slept together. Then the next morning, Dawn said, oh, that can't ever happen again. We can, and they were not romantically together. They just were vigilantes, Hawk and Dove. So it was separate to their romantic life. They went out and did that. Then they teamed up with Dick and the Titans, and Dawn and Dick started to date. Then they broke up, and then after that she got with Hank. She was not properly with Hank romantically before Dick. It was just like a one-night stand that they then became friends, well, they stayed friends, and they worked as a team together, and obviously there was still that attraction and connection in the background. So they have been, but my point is that they have been Hawk and Dove without the romance before, and I think they'll be Hawk and Dove with the Titans, which will kind of help that. And to be honest, the sort of the way TV shows work and with the connection those two characters have, I think there is a hope for them in the future. And it might not be the show. I'd be quite happy if the show did show them both being successful and strong and happy and finding paths separately to each other in terms of romance, but I mean, I imagine they will get back together. Then we have, I'm trying not to miss anyone. Okay, I'm gonna get to Gar next. The sweet precious baby that he is. I mean, I'm really glad they saved him. I mean, and I kind of lump Connor in with this a little bit as well. We don't know as much about Connor, but they're both just sort of pure and sweet. And obviously Connor is slightly different in that he has the Lex Luthor side inside of him, but he's also learning who he is and learning how to control who he is and figuring out everything. So this was been a huge stumbling block, but having the Titans, especially the Titans as they are now, confident and sure that they're trying to do the right thing and feeling like, okay, yeah, we've made mistakes, but those mistakes don't define us. Who we are isn't our mistakes. Who we are is what we do in spite of them. Who we are is how we try and stand back up and keep fighting and keep trying to do good. And remembering that those mistakes weren't done to be bad. You know, Dick didn't set out to confront Deathstroke so he stabbed his son. It just happened. You know, I think that they've got a much stronger mentality now than they did at the point when Connor came into their team. So I think they'll be really good for him. And I just really like that she was able to get through to him, and then that he was just able to stand there and not fall apart, because I probably would have been falling apart after that. And Connor, I love that Dick was able to, you know, use Rachel's powers again, kind of back to Rachel. She showed out a new way of using her powers to sort of get Dick inside his brain, which kind of meant she was sort of in Dick's head. I mean, a lot of stuff was happening. But I really enjoyed that scene with Connor. I mean, that's who Connor is at his core at the moment. He's just a frightened child. You know, he looks not like a child, but, you know, he's not very old in terms of the rest of us. He doesn't have life experience. He doesn't have things to draw from. He's just a baby. And he was a baby that was being tortured and forced to do things he didn't want to do. And he didn't want to do those things, but he couldn't fight it. And then Dick was able to say, well, what can I do? And he was just able to help him. And that was everything. And then he was like, thank you. And just, he put his trust in Dick, and I think that is important because Dick is a wonderful person and a good leader and a good person to put your trust into. So I am really happy that Connor is on the team, and I'm going to enjoy watching his character develop and be explored more next season. Then I think I touched on Rose and Jericho a little bit already, so I'm just glad that Rose is on the team. I'm glad that sort of Jericho is on the team. I would be happy if Rachel figures out a way to revive Donna. At the very least, she could figure out a way to like make a new Jericho body so he can just go back into his body and be alive. But I'm glad Rose has found a family and people that really want her, and I feel a little bit sorry for her mum and her dad that raised her because they loved her. She left them to be with Deathstroke, and now she's joining a new family, but with the family she's got now, she can visit them, she can phone them. I feel like she will probably even be more in contact with them maybe than she was, because they didn't seem like horrible people. But yeah, I'm really glad for Rose. Bruce Wayne turning up was brilliant. I really liked his conversation with Dick, that their kind of dynamic is really interesting to me. You know, I think Bruce wasn't a perfect parent, he made some mistakes, but I don't think he was a bad person. Obviously, I've never thought his intentions were bad, and I think it's really good that Dick is seeing that, and Dick has been able to kind of get to a place where he can appreciate Bruce and the family he did have, and how much of his own issues and stuff he was putting on Bruce, which is a lot like the rest of the characters are putting stuff on Dick. And so that was really beautiful, and I like that Bruce is like big up on this family. But then I said in that diner that Bruce was weird, that he was acting weird, he was being weird, it was weird that he could do that and get them there and get into Rachel's brain to make her come. That was weird. And I was right. I know Batman is like a lot of special abilities, but I was right that that was weird. I was thinking like, I'll accept that that was Bruce, but it was weird writing. So I'm feeling like, yes, justice, that it wasn't actually Bruce. But who was it? Now the obvious answer is Rachel, that it was because Rachel was dreaming of Dick dying and then she was dreaming of Elko's Niner. If she was able to send out that message and get them all there, that would be an exception that I would, an explanation that I would accept. but at the same time it could also be something new they set up for next season, some sort of other thing that's out there, which I'm very excited about. I'm glad that Corey and Dawn know about that. At the moment they're kind of just like, well, that was weird, but they know about it, they can deal with it coming forwards. And same with Dick and with Gar, I'm kind of backtracking a little bit because, yeah, I'm glad that we had that moment where Dick went to him and he was better at it than he has been. You know, he accepted responsibilities for his mistake, he kind of let Gar know, well, we're here for you, you know, we're going to be making dinner, you can help us, we're in the kitchen, come when you're ready. Giving Gar the complete acceptance. If he just thinks, I just want to sit in my room and hide, that would have been fine. And I really appreciated that we've seen how far Dick has grown as a character this season. Season 1, he kind of went up. Being a season, it dipped with Trigon, but then he went up. And then season 2, he crashed. And now he's on his way back up. And that is really important to me because he is my favourite character. But I love all of the Titans, actually. Like, I was thinking about this earlier, like when it was like one will fall. Not in some shows, I'm like, okay, if it's that character, that's fine. But there wasn't a Titan that I was like, they can go. So, yeah. Then I will talk a little bit about Dick. I think then all I have left. Yeah. I have, like I said, I've loved him this season. I love him all the seasons. I think he's always been a good person with a heart of gold, and I got very protective over him because everyone kept attacking at him and yelling at him, and I've been cross with him and acting like he'd been the worst villain ever when he just made a little, like, he hadn't done any intentional mistakes. It just, yeah, I've talked about it a lot, but I'm really glad that we got to see him get to a better place. And I think, like, at the beginning of the season, it was like, yes, he's in a better place. But this time, there's a real foundation under that. It's more than just kind of a commitment that I'm going to be happy or I'm going to make a new path. He's faced his past. He's faced his mistakes and what he's done, and he's accepted that they don't find him and that he's not a terrible person, and as he says, he doesn't need to keep looking back, he doesn't need to define himself by the past. And so I'm so glad that he is able to look forward and to speak positively and to have his family and to be vulnerable with them. You know, for Dick, that's a lot in a way. You know, he can kind of do it in little moments, but to say to all of them in that thick speech about the family and how he didn't used to know that's what he wanted, or didn't used to think he needed that and now he does, and how important that is to him, and that means all the world to me that he gets that moment and he gets his little family, and Bruce is so supportive of it and they're in a good place now, and it's a lot. I'm very emotional about Dick, and he's Nightwing, and I can't wait to see him flourish next season. I love him. Or Jason, I almost forgot because only a little bit. I love that he came and paid his respects to Donna. A little bit of me got a little bit overly hopeful that he was going to like ride over and be like, hey guys, you know, can I join you? But I accept that Jason isn't here right now, and I think, you know, Dick will keep an eye out for him, will try and see any signs of him, and if he's ever in trouble, they will of course help him. The other Titans, the ones that all yelled at him about putting stuff in their rooms, need to seriously apologise because he was just dealing with his own trauma that day. But I think there's still a hope for him as a character. I mean, he's very much still at this place in his life where he could genuinely become a villain, and I don't think Jason will become a villain, but I do feel like he's a sort of character that if things go a certain way and he chooses certain actions, he will get to a point where he is a villain. But his inner core is good, and we've seen a lot of that this season, that he at his core is actually just a really sweet romantic boy, and he deserves to get to just feel loved and happy and accepted. And I think now that Dick especially is in this place where he feels a lot better about himself and more confident in himself, he will be much more able to be there for Jericho. Yes, for Jericho, for Jason going forwards. And I kind of would like Bruce to be slightly more concerned about Jason. Like, you know, he was raising him and then he was like, oh, you deal with him instead because you'll be better at it. And then Dick was not better at it this season because of life. And then now Bruce is just like, oh, hey Dick, you're my son and I love you. I didn't have any others. You know, I kind of would have liked it if Bruce had mentioned Jason, or even if he just said, you know, he'll come back to you, or you'll find him, or like, I have faith in you that you will be able to be there for Jason, or some kind of acknowledgement that Bruce also had a responsibility for Jason, because he technically has more of a responsibility for Jason than Dick, because he was the one that took him in and yeah. So that was interesting, but I like that he came, that he showed his respect for Donna, because he's a good person who cares deeply, and you know, he didn't even know Donna that well, but he'll be feeling her loss, and I have hope for him going into the next season. And then Donna. One of the things that genuinely is making me really sad is I loved her relationship with Dick. Like, their sibling bond was everything. And we didn't get enough of that this season because there was too much arguing going on. And then I wasn't particularly happy with her for a lot of the season, with the way she sort of turned her back on Dick, given everything they'd been through. But what I was really looking forward to is kind of what I'm getting with the other characters, is the making it up, and okay, yeah, maybe they haven't said sorry like I hope they would, but kind of the moving past it and then just being there and getting more of her silly nicknames for him, and her saying like the older, smarter, prettier, like all of that kind of stuff. Like that's what I wanted, more of that, and I'm really sad that that's been taken from us, the chance of that, because that's one of my favourite dynamics in the show. And so I mean, I know Dick wasn't very optimistic about Rachel's plan to revive her, but we can hope that somehow she manages it and we get Donna back. But I am really sad about that, and I was really trying to like hope that when they were like one will fall, one titan will fall, I was like, they're just, you know, God's gonna kill some innocent people, that's falling, you know. But no, they meant it literally, and I kind of forgot, like, during the fight, whenever any character was fighting, I was like, they're gonna die, they're gonna die, they're gonna die, they're gonna die. In my brain, it was like, don't die, don't die, don't die, every second. The only one I was kind of confident wouldn't die was Dick, but only because they literally just made him Nightwing. And I was thinking, like, well, if you're gonna make him Nightwing, give him that amazing suit, and then turn around, like, we killed him, don't need the suit anymore, it would be a bit stupid. Or on Corey, I was quite confident wouldn't die because we needed to explore her sister's storyline. The rest of them, I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And even Corey and Dick, to be honest, I was like, what if they're gonna just trick us and kill them? So yeah, then the minute that thing started falling, I was like, oh, someone hasn't died. The battle's over, but I had let myself relax. They'd made jokes, they were a team, they were beginning their getting back together and their bonding, and I was letting myself feel safe. And then Donna is a true hero. I mean, they all would have done something like that, but she just, without hesitation, did it. She knew she could hold it up, but she knew it was electrified and she was going to die, and just seeing her lying there and then Dick running towards her and then just holding her in his arms, and I was just thinking like she's gonna breathe. Like she's fallen, look, she fell over, now she's gonna get up, and it didn't happen. And then just seeing them carry her and the song and Bruce's speech and the funeral, and it was a lot. And honestly, if I wasn't clinging on to this crazy hope that somehow she'll be revived, which I don't really think is that realistic, I would be a ridiculously sobbing mess. So yeah, that was ridiculously intense as an episode. It was such a good finale. One of my favourite finales I've seen in a while, I think, just because for me, the action was brilliant, the stakes were high. I don't know if that Donna died. I am someone that would rather characters all actually survive all the time. And often my favourite, like a character almost dying, getting really hurt, or dying, and then being okay, like being revived or whatever, they're some of my favourite plotlines because I get the sadness, I get the fear and the crying, and then I get the like, everything's wonderful. And we didn't get that this episode, but maybe in season 3. But yeah, that was a really, really good finale, really strong. It gave me everything I wanted. We had a satisfying conclusion with Deathstroke, with Jericho. You know, we've still got unanswered questions there, but that's totally fine. I love Jericho. I really grew to like Rose over the last couple of episodes. I'm happy to see more of them going into the next season. We saved Gar and we saved Connor, and that was something I haven't talked about yet, which is that with them, they're technically still under the effects of the brainwashing, aren't they? So if they heard that specific music for Gar, I don't know how Connor was being controlled, so would that activate him again? You know, is there going to be any of that kind of repercussion? Obviously we're going to have the repercussions of, especially for Gar, what he was made to do, what they were both made to do, but I think going forwards, we've saved them, and so the healing can start now, and that is something that I'm here for. Even if, I mean, I want the show to address it. I don't particularly like it when shows kind of forget things like that going forwards. I would like it if the show addresses it, but we will see. But yeah, we had, you know, satisfying conclusion there, we had a satisfying way of saving them. We had so much character development from most of the characters, to be honest, and at the end we had that, I was like, what's it going to be? Is it going to be a new villain? Is it going to be this? Is it going to be that? And then of course, it was Blackfire. Corey's sister has come to Earth. Just what we all needed. I mean, I say that like it's going to be such a good plotline. I love Corey and I'm so excited to see this get explored, and yeah, I have loved this season. I loved season 1. I was worried going into it because I watched the original trailer, and you know, I watched the trailer, the one everyone hated, and you know, it just looked like kind of did alright. I read a lot of people being like, oh, I know the source material and it's awful, or kind of people being like, oh, it's going to be terrible, and I was like, well, yeah, we can't judge it on that. But I wasn't in any great rush to get to it, and then I saw some people saying they kind of liked it and it was quite good. So then over summer I watched it and I fell in love with it as a show much more than I thought I would. And then season 2 has been even better, and I have absolutely loved it, and it's become one of my favourite shows. It was my favourite show of the week when I was watching it, and I'm really sad now that going forward I'm not going to have that anymore until next year. But yeah, this was a brilliant show, and thank you so much for all your lovely comments over the course of the season, and I hope you've all enjoyed this episode as much as me. And did you cry like I cried? Yes. I'm sorry for making you watch me cry. Yeah, I cannot wait for season 3. Thank you for watching.